Hello everyone, I'm Jesus and welcome to the next episode of the Road to Old School MTG. This is round 4 of the Scryings tournament held in March 2024 at Dave's Time Warp in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. I am 1-2 up to this point, so 1 win, 2 losses. First 2 rounds I lost. I won the third one, and now this is the final one. As I mentioned, this tournament was a Scryings tournament, and at Dave's Time Warp, they allow proxies, right? So there, you might see some proxies here and there, and in general, our tournaments are proxy friendly. And for Scryings, we had an extra stipulation that we had to have 8 Scrying cards minimum. So this is my mono green weenie deck, which I took to this tournament. And as I mentioned, one of the rules is that you had to have at least 8 Scrying cards in your starting main deck. And of course, you could have additional in the sideboard, but you had to have at least 8 minimum for the first round of each match. After the first game, you could sideboard in and out to over or under 8 as you wished. But as you see in my deck list here, I really went all out on the Scrying cards. So I have 11 Scrying cards in my starting main deck. So 4 River Boas, 4 Korean Rangers, 3 Creepy Modes, and then I have even more Scrying cards in the sideboard. 3 City of Solitude, 3 Octavio Orangutan, and 3 Primal Orders. So on my deck photo here, there are a couple proxies, like the City of Solitude, you see it all the way in the back, like some white border kind of thing. Same thing with the Whirling Dervishes. I see one. So I took this deck pick before the tournament, and by the time the tournament got around, I believe I had all the cards, right? But initially, I took this picture with a few proxies. But even if I didn't get all the cards in, like I said, proxies are allowed. All right, so this deck is pretty self-explanatory, just weenies attacking. The first two games that I lost, they were very competitive. So I am liking the deck. So I do plan on continuing on and improving on this deck for future scrying, either just games, just games for fun, or even future scrying tournaments. So I do like it. In the future one, I may switch to a couple things, but I'll mention that at the end of this video. For now, this is round 4, going into game 1. Seems like there's no mulligan on this one. I start with a Pendelhaven and Script Sprite, so pretty strong start. Opponent goes Scrubland and Death Speaker, I believe it's called. It's a 1/1 Pro Black creature. I play a Factory, attack for 1. I'm thinking, I guess I'm not pumping because I'm instead casting a Pixies. Turn 2 for my opponent. Plains, 2 white for a White Knight. So this is tricky because now, and he attacks me for 1. I don't want to kill my Pixies, so I just take it. So that White Knight is going to be an issue because it blocks both my Factory and my Pixies, the White Knight. So I can still attack with the Script Sprite and maybe pump to get an extra point in. If I have a Giant Growth in hand, okay, so this signals I do not. So I'm thinking if I pump or not. I guess I'm not pumping. I'm tapping 2 mana. River Boa, and I kept the Pendelhaven open either to pump the Sprite or to most likely regenerate the River Boa. So my opponent was just double checking to see what the Boa does, because remember, we're used to the old school card pool. Scryings expands the card pool by a lot, so we're just not going to be familiar with every single card. Opponent plays another Scrubland, 2 for a Falcon. I forget the first name, but it's a 1/1 flying Pro Black creature. So all his creatures have Pro Black, so that should have given me a clue about what he could be potentially playing, but I was totally caught off guard. You will see a little later. So my turn now. This, I believe, is turn 4. So I've done pretty good. I've got 3 creatures plus a factory, but the White Knight is keeping me at bay because it by itself it can block and still survive any of my other creatures. So hopefully I can either get a Giant Growth or even a Mace of Ith, right? Mace of Ith gets usually used as a defensive card, but in this deck, it's meant more for offense, but of course it can be defensive as well. So I attack, he blocks with a Sprite, he blocks with his Falcon, I pump my guy, but then he casts Deathlace. So that card turns my Sprite permanently turns it into a black creature. And of course, since this Falcon has protection from black, now it didn't take any damage, and it dealt 1 damage, but since I had already pumped my Sprite to a 2/3, it didn't die. But now my Sprite, any creature from his, because so far all his creatures are protection from black, my Sprite is in peril against them, right? Well, in this case, the Falcon, because the Falcon is the only one that has flying. But right now, remember, my Sprite is black, so that Falcon is just gonna bounce off that Falcon. So now I can attack in the air, and my ground game is not so good. So he's attacking with the Dust Speaker. So which is okay. I was tapped out because I cast a Riverboard as well. Okay. So my turn again. So I have 2 Riverboards, which is good. I can attack now. But I didn't notice my opponent casts also a Order of Leopard. So that's even trickier than the White Knight because it's pumpable as well. So I cannot go through into flying, at least with not with this script sprite. I need to cast a different one. Okay, I'm attacking with the 2 rural boars. He's blocking with the 2 knights, I believe. Yeah. So of course I can regenerate them, but even better is hopefully I have a Giant Growth or something, because I need to start getting rid of these guys because their first strike is preventing me from attacking with my pixies and my factory. So I'm casting 1 green. Well, I'm tapping 1 green. Yeah. Giant Growthing the one that got blocked by the Order of Leper, and the other one I just regenerate. It had the White Knight has first strike, so it kills it before it can deal its damage. So good. So that was pretty good. I got rid of one of the first strikers. So I play a land, and then I cast another Pixies. So all the way to the far left of my side, I have a Rural and a Pixies, in addition to another Rural, another Pixie, and my black script sprite. Opponent just, I believe, dropped a land, a swamp, I believe, and then just passed. So I'm in a good spot here. I'm flooding the board. He only has 1 first striker. So I may just attack with everything and, just accept that I'm going to lose one of the Pixies. But at least I'm going to get in 4, maybe 6, because he can block 3 things. His Falcon is, of course, going to block my Sprite. His Knight is probably going to block one of the Pixies, because if it blocks one of the Rural Bows, I'm just going to regenerate. And his Death Speaker is probably going to block my other Pixies. So I'm going to still get in 6 damage from the 2 Rural Bows and the factory. Actually, yeah. So I'm being conservative here. I think in hindsight I should have just rushed them. So he said I'm attacking for 2. He blocks one of the Rural Bows with the White Knight, and then I regenerate that one, and then he took 2. Second main, I play a Late Druid. So Late Druid is pretty good because I can do a lot of shenanigans with the lands. So my opponent previously just dropped the land and then kind of like slapped it on the table. So he's kind of frustrated. So maybe I didn't go all out because of course I'm going to lose some guys every time I attack if I go all out. And I can only do that, so many times before it's not worth it anymore. Okay, so Okay, he disenchants my. So I attack with the 2 balls and my factory. He disenchants the factory. It's probably gonna take 2, and then blocks the other rural ball with the white knight. I had to regenerate my ball before it dies, and that's it. So all that for 2 damage. So yeah. So opponent plays another land. Oh, he's doing something. So pestilence. This is the issue now. So I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. All his creatures are pro-black, so the pestilence will not do any damage to them. He just activated it once. The pestilence has to be activated one at a time. So he's not doing 1 damage across all my creatures, not his creatures, because his creatures are protected. So I have a few options here. I can Pendlehaven twice because of the Ley Druid and pump the Script Sprite and the Ley Druid because they're the only 1/1 creatures. And then maybe regenerate one of their balls, or maybe regenerate both of them. But then he's still got 2 more black open, so he's going to. So I'm trying to devise a way where I can kind of save one of them. Something, have something still alive, but I don't think that's possible. Because I can regenerate 1 ball twice because I have, well, actually 3 times with the Ley Druid, but that's still not, actually that is enough time. But he'll just do it again next turn. So and he still has the white knight. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going with the Pendlehaven trick. Making 2/3 both my Script Sprite and my Ley Druid, and I'm I think I regenerate once. Yeah, regenerate one of them once. So that means my one of the pixies and my other rural boy is dead. Oh, and the pixie, and I had a second pixies all the way to the left side. So I really had my board stacked. So we both took a damage. So my Script Sprite and my Ley Druid are 2/3 creatures. My rural boy is still 2/1, but it got regenerated. But I have no more green. So he's doing it once more. The ball dies. We both take 1, and then he does it a 3rd time, which kills off the rest of my creatures. And then we both take 1, and then he's coming in for 2, 3, 4. So I'm mono green, so I have no balance or anything. No earthquake, so I just played a land. It is not looking good for me. So on taps plus, of course, he's gonna attack for 4, 2, 3, 4. He has how many? 3, 5 sources of black. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he's just letting me go because then at the end of my turn is when he's gonna do it, not during his turn. Because then he'll kill whatever I cast. So right now I'm just saying, okay, even if I play something, he's just gonna kill it end of turn. He's gonna do 5 damage to both of us. So I'm at 7. So I'm thinking I have a hurricane, but that would be only for 4, 5, 9. So he's still ahead. And yeah, so no matter what, and I don't think I had the hurricane anyway in hand. So yeah, no matter what in my head, any scenarios that I had, it all ended in the same way. So I just had no way to get back into that game. So he's mulligan once, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, seems like once. I'm playing first because I lost. Forest, Elf. So now I know what what his game plan is, right? But honestly, like I was shocked when he played that pestilence. I shouldn't have been. All right, so this Scryings event is not gentlemen, so it's regular Scryings, which is regular Swedish, meaning regular old school cards, but not Falling Empires. And then I am using I dropped the land. Yeah, if I miss this, I lose. All right. My opponent had mulligan, so he couldn't use the library in response, or else he would have at least gotten at least one card out of it. So he played but he's one land down, so he plays now a scrubland. So now my turn, I play another factory, or yeah. So I'm doing pretty good. But of course, he's playing a weenie deck as well, right? So he doesn't need that much mana, similar to me. So I could cast things, I could attack. So he has one, so he could swords, but he doesn't have enough for a disenchant. So depending what I have in hand, yeah. So I'm using one factory to attack for 2. He takes it. And then I'm using the other 2 mana to cast the pixies. Alright, 2 scrublands, pays 2 for a demonic tutor. Oof. Alright, so let's see if we can kind of peek at what he gets. I wonder if he gets a pestilence. I mean, that's the ooh, he has COP green. Oh, he's getting the abyss. So the COP green would have helped, of course, with the 2 green creatures, but I have also 2 factories. If it wasn't for that, maybe he might have gone for COP green. But the thing is that, of course, he's using his mana to defend and not take damage, and he's not advancing his own board state. So, you kind of like are left, in defense mode a bit too much. So here I'm attacking with everything, 7 damage, nice. So I play another land that gave me the ability to activate both factories while still attacking. So opponent plays up Mox. There's the Abyss. So I'm gonna use that to activate the factory, and then it dies. So I'm trying to get a little better views out of the Land of War before it got sacked. Okay, I'm seeing if I attack. Okay, seems like I'm not attacking with the other one. Okay, I am. So I'm attacking for 6. So he's at 5. So that's pretty good. And then paying 2. And of course the pestilence would have not killed the factories. So that's a good way to get around it. But of course, I just drew into those factories. It's not like it was a game plan or anything. All right, so I'm casting 2 small creatures because that way I can sacrifice only 1 and still have more attackers. So he needs to like play creatures. The pro black creatures cannot be affected by the abyss from his side. So a white knight, I see a white knight, that would be very good for him because it cannot die to the abyss and it could block most things that I'm attacking with. Okay, so yeah, that's what he goes for. And then you gotta do stuff. Yeah, he's playing that bird probably. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like he has a pestilence, right? But by this point, it may, he has to stabilize first. He's at 5, and actually, he cannot really pestilence because he's gonna kill himself as well. All right, so I'm seeing if I can do some kind of ability here. So I'm probably gonna, activate. So yeah, he's just checking the Querying Ranger ability. So I'm probably gonna activate. Use a forest to activate. Return the forest, that same forest to my hand. Oh no, okay. So now I untap the one I activated because it's a creature now. So I return it and untap it. So that's a pretty nice move. And then I sacrifice the one that did all that. Because the Queen Ranger ability is return a forest to your hand to untap a creature. So I use the mana to make yeah. So I think it pumped itself. I used the mana to make it a creature, then it pumped itself, but then I untapped it because it's a creature, and then I returned that same forest to my hand, and then I played it again. Okay, so I think that guy's a 3/3, and I'm just bum rushing here. If I have a giant growth, I win, regardless of what he does. So he has 2 creatures only. I'm attacking with 4. So if he blocks the 3/3, which I think is the 3/3, and then the 2/2, he'll take 3 damage now. which brings him down to 2. But he doesn't lose any of his creatures. Oh, yep, I had the Giant Growth. Honestly, like he was starting to come back. He couldn't play Pestilence because he would have dropped to 2. But it wasn't out of the question that he could have made a comeback. Assuming he, stabilized and got more creatures up. But either way, I got lucky, and I was able to win this one over here. All right, we are now going into game 3. So he won the first one, I won the second one. This is the final one. So he's going first. Plains passes. I go. If you hear a little snoring, it's my dog Gino in my lap. If I don't have him in my lap, he's going to be yelping the whole video. Okay, so I had a Pendlehaven. I guess I want to kind of like surprise my opponent. So I also drop a Mox Emerald. I can cast 2 things. Yep, 2 weenies. So pretty good. Turn 1. Opponent plays a Swamp. I see a Disenchant. I see that bird. 2 of those birds. And I see a Mox maybe? Okay. So 1/1 flyer with pro black, right? But I gladly would trade that with my script spread. So now I'll probably play the Pendlehaven. Unless, yep, there we go. I may not, just so that I can tempt him to trade. But maybe I'm just, I'm just going for, I'm just going all out attack. I'm seeing if I pump or not. I guess I didn't, because I want to play the cards in my hand. The nice thing about a Mox is that if you do a land drop and then a Mox, that's 2 lands or 2 sources of mana, like that you didn't have last turn. And then, so here, of course, I'm thinking, okay, I can't overcommit because he could always Pestilence at any time. Okay, so I'm doing some shenanigans here. No, the Korean Ranger ability I can do right away. So yeah, look at all this stuff that I'm doing. So I cast the Ranger and a River Boa. So there we go. He played the Mox. He can play something else. Oh, he got another Mox. Okay, so I'm not sure what's the other proxy he has. Like I said, we are proxy friendly. Ah, it was a Chaos Orb, and then he's activating it. Yeah, I'm tapped out. Oh, he's going for the Pendlehaven. I don't blame him. Nice. So that's gone. Okay, so he doesn't have that 4th mana, so I'm okay for now. Okay, so I play that forest that I have bounced from previous. But yeah, I'm like, I'm being aggressive. I guess he's maybe blocking the elf. Well, he's blocking one of them. Okay, the sprite, he took, let's see. I think that was a ball, right? So he took 4 damage. I'm seeing if I do anything else. All right, paying 2. What do I do? Another ball. Okay. And push comes to shove. I can use the ability enough on the Korean Ranger again. To return that forest that I have. I'm curious if I can use the ability if I don't have a forest in play. I think I have to. I have to return a forest to my hand in order to then get the follow-up ability of untapping a creature. But I'll double check because that is an important distinction to make, right? Some abilities you can kind of still do one part of it even if the condition for the other part wasn't met. So I'm curious if that's one of those times. All right, so he's doing the demonic tutor. I mean, if he goes for the pestilence, okay. So I didn't see what he got, but we'll see soon enough, I guess. He's in a bad spot. If he casts the abyss, that's 4 creatures. That's not gonna do it. Pestilence is his best option. but he's gonna have to get hit first. If he has like a dark ritual, that's like the only way he can like both cast it and use it on the same turn. That's assuming he got a pestilence. I don't know what he got. Oh, I'm untapping it. Yeah, I was surprised. Like, ooh, I'm using that Land of World for mana. Why am I not attacking with him? But nah, I gotta attack because he's gonna do something. He got that demonic tutor. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. He's at 7. So even if he pestilences, it'll cost him some life. But I mean, that's still better than what's happening now. I'm assuming that's what he has. Maybe not. I don't see another mana source. So I do see a pestilence. Oh, but I think he couldn't get two things, right? So he needed both a pestilence and mana, and he doesn't have it. He's got the 2 black, but I killed his oh no, I think yeah. Was it this turn that I killed? No, it wasn't this turn that I killed the library. It was a previous game. But yeah, I'm just getting lucky here. Okay, I'm doing some more shenanigans with the Korean Ranger, of course. Okay, returning the same land that I tapped and untapping the same land award that I got mana from. So yeah, that Ranger is freaking awesome. He's definitely the MVP. The Lay Druid hasn't done much, but I only have one of him, right? So maybe if I had more of him, he would get more chances to impact the game. All right, so he blocks that. He takes 2 or 5. Okay, oof. So I'm pretty sure he got a pestilence, but he got a balance. Holy smokes, he just drew that. Holy smokes. So he should have in hindsight he should have I've totally forgot about the balance. He should have tutored for the balance. I think he took unnecessary damage there. All my creatures die. So yeah, I had that. Yeah, nah, that was definitely my mistake. I should have. Okay, why is he? Okay, he's doing a balance, yeah, because he's got a discard as well. I only had 2 cards, I think, so he's got a. I mean, that's still better than the alternative. I should have um Chaos Orb his planes. That was a big mistake. I mean, he top decked that thing, but still, yeah, that was huge mistake for my part. Okay, so 2 things, and he only has 2 mana. He's got a. Okay, he kept the disenchants for some reason, and yeah, oof. I got it. I got the 3rd one. So all in all, I have a 2-2 record in this tournament. So basically middle of the road. I definitely like the deck, but as you just saw that during this latest game, I totally botched that Chaos Orb Plains play right there. I should have definitely anticipated that could have been his only out, and it was. And I could have done it like, I think, yeah, from even the last turn. Yeah. Oh well. But either way, 2-2. So now let me discuss what am I going to. What are some changes I'm anticipating? First of all, I got the inspiration for this particular deck from a mono green deck that did really well in the latest Winter Derby. John Cedar, I believe, is the player's name. So I just took some liberties to make some swaps to make this Scryings compliant. But a good chunk of this are the cards from that deck. But I've seen other versions of this that are more aggressive and include 4 Giant Growths plus 4 Berserks. That's actually the version I'm more accustomed to seeing, and I've even played against it a few times. So I opted for this version as opposed to that other Berserk version that I'm more familiar with. The main reason is that I don't have any Berserks at all, so then I was gonna have to invest. So Berserks Collector's Edition are the cheapest. I think they were like $40 each. I don't know, but I was gonna have to invest like well over $100 just in those 4 cards for a deck I didn't know if I was gonna like or not, right? And of course, I have invested already by buying some of the Scryings cards and so forth. Although all of these Scryings cards are very cheap, you know, some are just a few dollars, some are just a few cents. So it wasn't a big of an investment yet. But that Berserk, like since I don't play green in that way, and Berserks are strictly just like a aggro, and tends to be more of a green weenie type of thing. Just it's similar to Suchi's. It's a card I've been wanting to get, but didn't see much reason to get it because I just didn't play those kind of decks, or I didn't play in that kind of a way. But now I do want to get those Berserks because I like this deck, but I think me being a bit more aggressive is what's needed. And like I said, that's the main type of the green weenie that I've seen most commonly, that more aggressive version. And that's the one I personally liked the most, right? But since, like I mentioned, this particular deck did very well in latest Winter Derby, and then it didn't have any Berserk, so I didn't have to invest money into that. So I figured I'd give it a shot. Honestly, I like it a lot, and I'm sure I did a lot of misplays. I'm sure I could have been more aggressive when I wasn't. I think the other version has 3 Maces of this, so like there were I had to switch a couple of things out because since I knew I was going to put in Primal Order as my sideboard card, I think like the non-basic lands was a little bit different in the original version. I think there were 3 Maces, maybe even 4 factories. But I wanted to, and that Primal Order did win me a game at least, right? So it's it is good. I do like it in the sideboard. So that's not. I don't anticipate that leaving there. Didn't get any. I didn't play against blue, right? Or a lot of. So City of Solitude didn't get any play. Didn't play anything black. So Whirling Dervishes didn't get any play, and there were no enchantments. Or I'm sure I must have put in Tranquilities in this game against this 4th opponent. I just didn't draw it. So, but that's just random. It depends on who you get paired with. So that's where I think I might be changing this into a more traditional, aggressive, 4 Giant Growths, 4 Berserks type of a deck. So that's probably the next thing I'll be looking into little by little, looking for deals on some Berserks here and there because, like I said, it's like I don't play green weenie, but I've been wanting to, right? So this seems like it's the stars are aligning, and of course that's not just good in Scryings. I do want to make also a traditional green weenie old school deck, right? So which I think I have most of the components. I think that really the Berserk is the main thing that I'm missing if I go with the version that's the more aggressive version, which is the one I tend to like more anyway. So I do. If I play this again, I would play that version with more aggression, more 4 Giant Growths, 4 Berserks. So we'll see if there's any future scrying events, or just for fun, because we are adding scryings into our rotation in terms of just the decks that people bring into our play group in Time Warp. So we of course always bring in an Atlantic Legal deck. We have Sisterton, which is a Highlander version, old school version, which is a 100-card singleton variant format. So we tend to have those decks always available. And now Scrying seems to be one of those decks that everyone always brings along, their Scrying's deck. In addition, we're also starting to play more pre-modern. I finally made a pre-modern deck. I've got like 1 more card in the mail that I still need to get. But it's basically, other than that, it's already made. And there are talks of making a pre-modern tournament in very soon at Time Warp. So look for that event in the near future. But for this event, I was 2-2. I really like this deck. I think it did pretty well. The games I lost, it was very competitive. And maybe just me misplaying things because, of course, this is a brand new deck for me. On top of it, of course, now as well as Scryings, I don't know what the opponent's going to do, right? Because I'm just not familiar with all the Scryings cards, at least, you know, in terms of me being able to anticipate things. So I do like this deck. But like I said, I know this deck more as the aggressive type with the Berserks. And if I were to play this again, which I do want to, I would go that route. So hopefully I will be little by little accumulating those Berserks, and you might be seeing this deck again, but the Berserk version in the near future. Thank you guys for watching.